for English, just wait a little bit. Bienvenidos a Mezclas Abruptas. Mi nombre es Susana Medina. Este podcast está nombrado en honor a mis DJ sets. Mi nombre de DJ es Mezclas Abruptas porque pues selecciono música bien, pero luego me pasan accidentes en las tornamesas. Este podcast selecciona temas de conversación de manera minuciosa y los pone sobre la mesa de la misma manera, abruptamente. Es un podcast que originalmente es de música, pero recurrentemente se trata de algo más. En esta ocasión sí se va a tratar de música. Tengo por acá una entrevista a viaje, preguntas trippy psicodélicas con la banda Frankie and the Witch Fingers. Ellos se formaron en Bloomington, Indiana, en el 2013 y actualmente radican en Los Ángeles, California. ¿Qué música hacen? Hacen como garage-psych, rock progresivo con influencias de funk, con influencias de punk. En realidad es así un montón de guitarras y psicodelia y se siente bien bonito. Tienen 7 álbumes de estudio y el último está bien chido. Por ahí escuchen Reaper, escuchen Lou Reed, Thinking About You, Thinking of You es una de las canciones que más me gusta y se van a presentar este 27 de febrero en el Foro Indie Rocks en la Ciudad de México y pues por eso me dieron la entrevista y aquí estamos en este episodio especial. Si ustedes no le saben tanto al inglés y están, por ejemplo, en Spotify o en Apple Podcast o en Amazon Music o en cualquier plataforma de audio, pueden ir al YouTube de Mezclas Abruptas y ahí van a encontrar la entrevista subtitulada. Está en inglés, pero pues va a tener los subtítulos en español para que esté más fácil entenderle a todo el show. If you speak English, then you're just gonna you can listen to this wherever, and I hope you also have a nice trip. Nada más como contexto, como usualmente para estas entrevistas que son por FaceTime o bueno, más bien por Zoom, pues no te dan más de 15 minutos, decidí hacer un tipo de entrevista diferente, ya que yo voy a ir al concierto de Frankie and the Witch Fingers con intenciones psicodélicas, pues nada, dije, mejor los hago pasar por todo un trip, todo un viaje psicodélico donde tienen que ir contestando, resolviendo ciertos retos. Nada, a ver si les gusta, estén muy atentos de las redes sociales de este podcast, @ Mezclas Abruptas, porque va a haber boletos, va a haber sorpresas para que vean a Frankie and the Witch Fingers en la Ciudad de México. Y si no, ya pasó el tiempo y siguen aquí, pues si ya pasó el tiempo y ya no pueden ir al concierto porque pues ya pasó la fecha, de todas formas es una gran plática donde pueden conocer más a fondo a esta banda. También siento que ustedes si escuchan este podcast van a querer como que participar y dar sus propias respuestas. Entonces déjenlas en los comentarios si quieren ser parte de este viaje también. Sonoro.
Mezclas Abruptas con Susana Medina.
I have a radio show at Ibero 90.9, but I also have a podcast named Mezclas Abruptas. And I usually have like these deep dive interviews with bands, but I thought that I could do something different with you. Because when I found out that you were playing in Mexico City at Foro Indie Rocks, I thought that I should be there. And I had psychedelic intentions, to be honest. So I thought that maybe we could do a special episode where we go through like trippy questions with you, like through a weird trip, and you have to answer these situations. It's like a psychedelic dream, something weird that's going to happen to you during this interview. Are you up to it? Are you up for it?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
That's the best part of the video.
So you guys are walking to your show at Foro Indie Rocks in Mexico City. For some reason, there was no van, and you're just walking there in Colonia Roma, and suddenly you are abduced by aliens. And you are in their, they're just like pick you up, and they say, hey, we're studying humanity. Are you Mexicans? You're like, no, we're not Mexicans. Okay, where are you from? We're from the US, and we're musicians. And they ask you, like, what is that? Well, we make music. And they say, what's music? And you have to explain to the aliens what music is.
Oh, man,
Whoa.
that's a good one.
We've got an idea.
Music is like, man, This is hard. I should have smoked weed before this.
Let's say music is like taking the emotions you feel in your body and making them into a tangible thing that you can share with others instead of keeping it inside. You make it so that everyone can enjoy it, and it goes in your ear holes. It comes out of your hands and it goes into your ear holes, and it creates an emotion that everybody gets to share together. That's what I would say music is.
That's beautiful. Then the aliens say like, okay, I like that. Do you want to like still hang out with us? And you say like, yeah, we still want to hang out with you. And they say, okay, we're going to this beach in Mexico. We're gonna land there and we're gonna have a party. And you guys say, okay, let's go. So you go to this trip on a Mexican beach with the aliens, and suddenly you guys say like, okay, we just wanna walk, by the beach and just like get away from the alien party. And you start walking, and then you bump into a seashell, like the big ones where the snails get in, like that big
Yeah.
seashell,
Yeah.
and you pick it up
Cool.
and you place it against your ear. But instead of listening to the waves and the ocean, it's a song that's stuck there inside. It's a Frankie and the Witch Finger song that is stuck there forever. And anyone that picks up that seashell is gonna like be able to listen to that. Which song would it be?
That's such a tough one.
Okay, the only reason I thought of this, I'm not gonna say why, but I don't know, Reaper, maybe?
Yeah.
That's a good
It
one.
sounds like kind of like it's very
flowy.
beautiful in the beginning, and then like because it sounds like what I imagine like waves like when they're chill to sound like, but then when waves get big, like they're in the chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Yeah. I'd go with
Yeah,
it.
definitely. Like you capture the essence, like what happened, the nature of the sea, but in a song, in a way. Fantastic. So, you're still walking on the sand, and then suddenly, you are swallowed by the sand, and you end up like in a black hole that's weird, and it's just like sand, falling, and suddenly, while you're like on this trip, with the sand falling around you, you bump into Lou Reed, and Lou Reed says like, "Hey, hello, how are you? I've been waiting for you." And he says, "I know you have a song named after me. Could you please explain why you did that?"
Well, Dylan can't be here right now. He took too many drugs earlier. But I just believe it's because it was heavily inspired by the Velvet Underground.
Yeah, I think
Just like really think I don't think the lyrics have anything to do with Lou Reed. I think it was just heavily sonically influenced by Lou Reed and Velvet Underground.
I think if Dylan was in the hole falling and he met Lou Reed, he'd be like, "You're here, you're alive, holy shit!" Give him you're my hero.
That's really cool. I thought that when I listened to it, and then I just like turned the phone to see the name of the song, and I was like, yeah, of course it's fucking named like that. Okay, so Lou Reed is like, well, thank you. I really like this song. I'm gonna buy you a pizza, and he gives you an address for a pizza place, and he says that I'll see you there. So you start walking to that pizza place, but he never shows up. And then suddenly the Beatles show up. The four of them. Yeah, the four of them. And they say like, "Hey, Lou Reed sent us here. Like, who are you?" "No, we're Frank and the Witch Fingers." And you're like, "Okay, he didn't arrive. Like, should we share a pizza?" And then there's like this pizza that you had together, and then there's like one last slice. You guys are full, but the Beatles don't know, like they all want the last slice, and they don't want to like pick it up. So you guys have to tell them who can get the last pizza slice. And this is a way to answer who's your favorite Beatle, actually.
Oh, oh, not face, just because he's a treasure.
I would give it to Ringo because he's always getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
There's He deserves a bone thrown at him every once in a while. Yeah, he does.
The pizza Hut.
Yeah,
He doesn't have-
nothing.
Give him a piece of pizza.
Yeah.
Definitely, Ringo deserves it. So Ringo is very, very grateful, and he says like, "Hey, let's take a walk." And he says like, "I'm gonna take you home," and you just like start walking with Ringo Starr, and for some reason he just leaves you at your childhood home, and you're in the front door, and you knock the door, and yourself as like a really young kid shows up, and you're like, there's gonna be three kids at the door, or it's gonna be three doors. I don't know, like, but this kid is yourself but younger, and you have to tell them which album they should listen to, so they end up being a musician. Okay, so you have to tell your former child self which album he or she should listen to to become a musician.
Good question.
Mm. Maybe something by cattle decapitation. I'm just kidding. Honestly, the first record that came to my mind was, at least for me, was the Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. I think it's a very simple album, but also there's not really like a bad song. It's just like, I don't know, very pure rock and roll record. And I don't know. I think the songwriting is great. I think anybody can get behind it. I think it's a very, I don't know. It's a very, I don't know. It's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a staple in not just rock and roll, but music itself, I think. Yeah.
Great answer. It
Yeah.
makes sense though. Have you thought of any other record?
John?
I mean, I guess I might be a little unfair because I knew what I was probably drawn to as a kid, so I would know what to tell my kids.
Yeah, same.
I'd be like, I know exactly what you really need if you've not already listened to it, which I know you will, which is probably Radiohead, like Kid A, I'd say. It was a pretty pivotal moment in like learning on like a lot of punk and rock, like forward music. I think the first time I heard that album in particular, I was like, whoa, there's a world where electronics can be fused in a way that I didn't understand. And I think that was easier as like kid mode, so
Yeah.
Fast forward yourself.
yeah.
You'd be like, you're gonna hear this
I
anyway.
know it's gonna happen,
But do it right now.
but you might as well just go ahead and jump in.
We're not gonna lose any more time.
Exactly.
Nice.
I feel like I was already listening. Like when you took me on that journey, I knew exactly what age of kid I would be opening that door, and I could see myself. And I was already listening to a lot of good music at that age, like middle school age.
Yeah.
But I didn't even have any idea that I could do that. I just loved music and like listened to music, but I had no concept that like I could do that. So instead of like giving myself a record, I'd just be like, just so you know, like you can do this and you're gonna do this one day. So just like let yourself do it now. Like you don't have to like find your way to it in your 20s. Do it right now. Like try it. It's fun.
Fantastic answer. Then suddenly the aliens come back in their UFO and they pick you up again and they take you to this weird planet where everyone's a musical instrument.
Okay.
Yeah. And you have to become a musical instrument and for a while. and this question is important because if you're an instrument and you're aware of yourself, like what, and you are able to feel how they touch you, you have to think how you want to be, played. So, which instrument would you pick, like for this other planet?
What's the it's not a xylophone, but it's like there's another word for it. It's all the metal beat bars on it.
A vibraphone?
Maybe. Xylophone. I would just be a xylophone because it would like that would be like a fun thing to be touched like that.
Yeah.
Like be like, I'm excited. And be like, I'm sad.
Definitely. Also sounds like going to the chiropractors, like,
Yeah.
they
Xylophone
get
to
your
crack your back. It would sound so cool.
yeah.
What would you be?
Probably be like a cello.
Yeah.
Because you have that timbre of voice. You're already like
Camera voice, I'm already there, but then like somebody just bowing me slowly, so I'm just
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Also, you want to be sort of like hugged.
Yeah.
I would be a 22-inch crash cymbal because I'm a masochist and I would love to have the shit beaten out of me all the time.
but not just like
Yeah, yeah.
over and over in the same spot.
Cool, kinky. So yeah, like you live the rest of your life, you live as instruments, and you're just like there, and suddenly that life ends. The Grim Reaper, because you have a song named Reaper. I thought the Grim Reaper uh, comes for you and says like, "Hey, um, you had a really nice run as instruments and as musicians, but I just like for a question for the end of your life, you had a really cool band, and what was your purpose with it? What did you want to leave the world with?"
Jeez.
We're getting carried to Hades.
Yes, you're about to.
I just hope that little trippers, centuries from now are listening to the tunes like the way that we listen back to stuff from the 60s and are very sucked in. I think of like tripping on acid, listening to Dr. John and feeling like he was in the room with me and like I could hear him all around me, behind me. Like I hope that's happening to people with our music, that you know decades and centuries they're listening to our songs and like wondering, are we in the room with them? Like are we seeing? That's what I hope.
That's nice. Do you guys have another answer for that, or
I mean, that's kind of like
Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling the same way.
That's spot on.
Oh yeah, I would just say that I hope with what I provided musically made enough people feel a type of way in a good way, and then I did what I was supposed to be. I did what I was put on this earth for. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So the Reaper says, "You know what? I'm not gonna take you. You're not gonna meet Hades yet. Yeah, you're not going to Valhalla. Nothing. Like, I have to take you back to your show in Mexico City at Foro Indie Rocks because there's a lot of Mexicans from Mexico City really excited to see you, and you didn't get to go there because you got picked up by aliens. So the Grim Reaper brings you back to the show, and suddenly you're on stage, and you looked into the audience." And just so you know that you don't know if you really woke up from the trip or not, or came out of a trip or not. You look into the audience, and the audience, we're not people, we're animals. It's like a jungle or something, and you have to decide which animals are. I really love animals. I just I just wanted to ask this question. And what animals do you see? Probably with the music, you're gonna turn us back into our human form.
One animal or different kinds of animals.
Yes, all kinds of animals that you want. It's okay.
I want to see some monkeys. I mean, if we're down in Mexico and we're near like rainforests, I want to see some cool monkeys like going wild, throwing poop.
I want to see a camel.
You want to see a camel? Okay. Yeah. That's why? You just really like them, or are you thirsty?
Maybe a rhinoceros.
I know.
Big one.
Yeah, I like big animals.
Yeah.
Maybe a velociraptor.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, no, that's
Slow
extinct.
down.
That's extinct.
Yeah, well, it could happen, but you would make the other animals extinct there.
True, that's true.
Yeah.
Ooh, raccoons would be cool. I like raccoons.
Yes. Raccoons are like they're good at partying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Um, dogs.
Yes.
Dogs that showed.
Fantastic. So, well, you have an awesome show, and we are all like back in our human form. And it's been an awesome trip and an awesome concert. And just to finish off this interview, And obviously because we have to say something about the show. Just wanted to know what we should expect as an audience, as a human Mexican audience, on February 27th.
We're gonna party together. We're gonna get hot and sweaty. We're gonna tear the house down.
Dress light.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's gonna get hot in there.
Yeah. Do you know if you're playing inside the house or the big venue at the, this like Foro Indie Rocks has 2 stages.
I'm not entirely.
There's like an outdoors and indoors.
Yeah, I think
Can't
we're
wait to
doing
find
the
out.
indoor one.
Okay,
And
okay.
Like a chamber.
Yes. Oh, so it's gonna be really cool. I saw Ty Siegel there. He had an acoustic show, and it was weird. It was trippy. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for the interview and for the trip and playing along with me for this. I thought it would be a cool way of like getting to know your influences and what do you think about music and all of that.
Mezclas abruptas con Susana Medina. Sigue o suscríbete a este podcast para recibir un nuevo episodio cada semana. Deja una reseña, de preferencia 5 estrellas. Excelente servicio. Y si quieres seguir la conversación, busca @mezclasabruptas o @SuzyRain, SUZY, Rain de lluvia en inglés. En Twitter o Instagram. Mezclas abruptas con Susana Medina.